I'm so excited to talk to you about my favorite thing, travel hacking. So I recently flew business class for the first time on an international flight, and it would have cost me over $5,000, but I only paid a total of $112. So in this video, I'll share with you a general breakdown of what travel hacking is. I'll go over some of the most popular credit cards out there that you can use, and I'll go over the strategy that I use for practically free flights, free access to airport lounges, and more. So let's get going. Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Linda, and I love to share with you my travel and personal finance tips. Flying business class seems so out of reach because it's so ridiculously expensive. Even more so for me, who was born to Cambodian refugees and grew up extremely frugal. So business class seemed like a waste of money. But as I learned more about personal finance and read about how others were able to travel for free, I was ready to jump on board. I now use tools such as Google Flights and Skiplagged to find deals for my flights, but what really made business class possible for me was travel hacking with credit cards. Now I know credit cards generally have a bad reputation. Depending on how you use it though, it can save you thousands of dollars. So here's the basic strategy that I used. Step 1. I applied for a credit card that offered a big welcome bonus. 2. I used the card to pay for my daily expenses. 3. I paid off the card on time every month. 4. I spent X number of dollars in X number of months to get that huge welcome bonus. And finally, I would repeat this step with another card and accumulate all of these welcome bonuses. Now I'll go into more detail in a little bit, but first, a word for who this strategy is not for. If you are someone who struggles to pay off your credit card, or if your credit score is below 700, I do not recommend this strategy to you because you have a greater chance of getting rejected, and I wouldn't want you to have a hard inquiry on your credit report if you're not going to get any benefits in return. Instead, you need to focus on getting rid of your debt, building up your emergency fund, and making sure your credit score is healthy. But feel free to watch this video through and come back when you're ready to take action. Now, for those of you who are ready to board the flight, here are some of the most popular travel credit cards in 2022. In the Chase family, there's a Sapphire Preferred, Sapphire Reserve, and the Freedom Flex cards. Capital One has the Venture and Venture X Rewards credit card, and American Express has the Everyday Green, Gold, and Platinum cards. Now, 2 other cards my husband and I have applied for include the City Premier and the Southwest Rapid Rewards card. I'm not recommending that you apply for all of these cards at once. Please apply responsibly, but it is worth it to note that each bank has their own promotions and guidelines. For instance, Chase has an unwritten policy where people have been rejected on their application because they have applied for over 5 different credit cards in a 24-month period. This is dubbed the 524 rule. Also, for American Express, you can only get their welcome bonus once in a lifetime. So it's a good idea to read up on all of the rules and strategize which cards you want to apply to first. So now let's break down what that strategy looks like with my business class example. I applied for the American Express Platinum card, which comes with a 100,000 membership rewards welcome bonus points after you spend $6,000 within 6 months of opening the credit card. Now here's a bonus tip. You can actually check to see whether you're targeted for a higher welcome bonus by using the card match tool on the Points Guy's website. This tool does do a soft credit pool, and there's no guarantee that it'll always work, but my husband and I did use it, and we were both qualified for 125,000 points each. Now that's a total of 250,000 points instead of the 200,000 points that we would have gotten had we not used this tool. So at the time that we applied for the Amex Platinum card, the annual fee was $550. Now that fee has risen up to $695 per year. But the bonus points and the card's benefits made having the Platinum card worth it for us. And we made sure to take advantage of all of its benefits, including 240 digital entertainment credit to be used for subscription services like Audible or SiriusXM, We also got $200 in the hotel credit, $200 in airline fee credit, and $200 in Uber cash, which was broken down on a month-to-month basis. There was also $155 in Walmart Plus credit, $100 credit for shopping at Saks, access to their Global Lounge collection, and many more. That's over $1,000 in benefits and was enough to justify the high cost of the card. So, with a card in hand, the next step is to use that card to meet the spending limit. Now, as much as I wanted to go make it rain and go on a Harry Potter shopping spree, that is not the strategy I went with. Instead, I was using it to pay for my everyday expenses, which I knew I would meet because I was tracking my expenses on a month-to-month basis. And I knew exactly what I was going to spend my money on. But if you know that your monthly expenses aren't high enough to meet that minimum spend, then here are some tips that I recommend. 1, you can wait to apply for the card when you have a big expense plan, such as a home renovation project, down payment on a car, or daycare expenses. 2, you can do some intentional spending and buy things you know you'll need in the future, such as birthday gifts for family and friends. Or 3, you can offer to pay for a family member's large purchase with your card and have them pay you back instead. That way, you're not just spending money on things you don't need, and you're going in with a solid plan to succeed. Now, I do want to emphasize you need to have the money ready to pay for your purchases before you start using your card. After I used my Platinum card to pay for my everyday expenses, I made sure to pay off that balance every month. I would actually argue that this is the most important aspect of travel hacking, because if you end up carrying a balance and start paying interest on it, you're basically giving away money for free. And that defeats the whole purpose of travel hacking. So if I haven't said it enough, here it is again. Pay off your credit card debt in full, on time, every month. Okay, moving on. Even after I reached my spend limit and got my welcome bonus, my husband and I were very strategic and continued to use our card so that we can accrue the most points as possible and have a nice bank of points we can use when we're ready to book our flights. And when that time came, instead of cashing out those points and using that money to pay for the flights, we used the points themselves to redeem the flights. Depending on the value of the credit cards, you can redeem the flight using the credit card's travel portal, or you can transfer the points over to a travel partner, which is what I did in this example. My husband and I transferred over 300,000 Amex membership rewards points to the Singapore Airlines f.i.r.e program, where one membership reward point equal to one f.i.r.e mile. And after transferring over some additional points from our other credit cards, we were able to redeem round-trip business class flights from the US to Cambodia for a total of 380,000 points and $112 each for taxes. Now that came out to 95,000 points for each person per trip, saving us over $10,000. Not bad at all. Now, to get the most out of our travel points when booking our flights, we made sure to be very flexible with the travel dates, and we even opted for longer layovers. Now, this is something we actually didn't mind doing because our credit card had a lot of other perks that made traveling a lot easier. For instance, one of our cards provided us with TSA PreCheck, which allowed for us to go through security a lot faster. We also have the Global Entry Pass, which made going through immigration less painful, and it gave us access to airport lounges, which had a lot more comfortable seating, free food and beverages, and even showers where you can freshen up. All of these additional perks not only made international flying bearable, but actually fun and enjoyable. So there you have it, your intro into travel hacking and how I was able to pay for business class flights for a small fraction of the actual cost. Over our 15 years of responsible credit card usage, my husband and I have saved thousands of dollars on our flights from Hawaii to Europe and now Asia. And I truly hope that you learned something new and you're able to save some money on your next adventure. So if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to check out this one where I gave a tour of Cambodia's first airport lounge and I give you a tour of the fancy throne seat I had on my business class flight from Cambodia to Singapore. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell because it really means a lot to me and it encourages me to keep putting out great content like this one. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Aakan and Chăm Điệp Lia.